Close your eyes. Close your eyes. See with mine.
The harsh reality is that as a film, it is an utter failure.
It didn't work for me, and I would be lying if I said it did. She talked about having a person of color as the lead role.
So I just saw Disney's A Wrinkle in Time, and it was the worst movie I've seen all year. It was a pile of garbage. Bad. No, sir, I don't like it. Thanks, Oprah.
I'm gonna give A Wrinkle in Time a C-. This was disappointing. I really wanted to like this film, but it just didn't work for me.
A Wrinkle in Time. As for A Wrinkle in Time, not gonna remember it in T-1 day. Yep, already forgot.
Gamora. Subtle. Take it back.
What are you doing?
I'm distracting you, you big turd blossom.
The movie's director, Ava DuVernay, is paving the way for women and especially women of color. The culturally diverse casting shows girls and women of color as heroines of our own story. Kids of color get to see themselves as heroes and as the person to root for. Race is present in the movie because of the decision to cast biracial actress Storm Reed as the movie's star, along with Oprah Winfrey and Mindy Kaling. Gender roles and female empowerment are also central themes in this movie. The film shows young girls that they don't only have to dream about becoming a princess. They can have an interest in math and sciences and dream of one day becoming a scientist.
This is the backyard that they created for the Murrays.
When I first met with Oprah on the set of A Wrinkle in Time just outside LA,
Action, Mrs. Who!
we had no idea that just 1 year later, she'd come to embody the hopes and dreams of a new movement. This interview with 4 of Hollywood's most powerful women, Oprah alongside Reese Witherspoon, Mindy Kaling, and director Ava DuVernay.
We will no longer be alone, and we will no longer be silenced. It represents a world that you want to see behind the scenes as well.
I heard a cry out in the universe.
These women are more than the stars of the film.
Be a warrior.
She's a hating to holler, y'all.
They've formed a sisterhood. The Oscar nominee is the first woman of color to direct a live-action film with a budget topping $100 million. Her first big statement, recasting the book's young heroine as an African-American.
You're kidding.
People of all colors.
Little girl heroines that looked like me and Storm.
Pine, once again surrounded by strong women, as Wonder Woman's boyfriend.
I want someone to dress up as me for Halloween. That has been my dream.
Wait a second. I was going to say, I hope that somebody buys the 3-pack of us as dolls.
This moment right now is my dream come true. I love Barbies, and my ladies are holding their Barbies. Body sizes and shapes and face sizes and cultures.
Is there such thing as a wrong size?
All that on-screen diversity and inclusion.
How to get these kids to see these empowering images, you gotta go down to the brass roots.
All the brown girls around the world who will see this empowerment.
Women of color.
I just love all these women. No, it's a real gift to be surrounded by women who are so sentient.
Look at this inclusiveness here. I mean, this palette of color. This little brown girl, mixed race character, Meg, who represents girls of color all over the world. 3 powerful women.
This film is all about representation.
The boy that plays Charles Wallace is a little Filipino-American actor. I think he's supposed to be a gay character.
Who would you share a banana split with?
Probably Mr. Murray.
This seems like tokenism and like we should have moved past this kind of depiction at this point. Mindy Kaling, the Southeast Asian woman.
It has to be a story worth telling. A Wrinkle in Time. That.
Everybody gets a poster! Everybody here gets a poster!
It's got great messages in it. It's a film about empowerment. Somebody like Ava DuVernay steps up and creates characters that look like us. It gives young girls and audiences out there new ideas.
How do you feel like this movie is going to encourage young girls?
This was the first set where I have been on with so many women. There was just so many women, and it was so inclusive with the people that were there, and I felt like everybody was represented on that set, and it looked like Ms. Ava says, the United Nations there. I'm just not sure if I will have the privilege to experience that on my next set I go into, which is unfortunate, but it may be true. She's just powerful, and she's so smart and so beautiful.
Katie John was a brunette girl with freckles. It was as close as I could get to somebody being black. And she was really independent and was a tomboy.
It reminded me of that recent powerful photo of the little girl looking at Michelle Obama's official portrait at the National Portrait Gallery that went viral. And I thought that that's what this movie has to offer. That's the gift.
A young girl at the center of it. The fact that Disney was down to make that a girl of color.
She wanted to change consciousness in the world.
Having a female protagonist was so uncommon. You know, somebody like looking like myself.
A sense of diverse inclusionism. The diversity and inclusionism is so profound on the screen that it's undeniable, and I think it speaks to people of the world. A little Negro girl.
I think it will have a great impact. I think it will inspire a lot of young women, a lot of young African American women, because there's so much diversity and inclusion in the film. A lot of representation in what we really need in this world right now.
This movie comes at a time in our history and our culture where I guess, you know, we're divided.
When people see this movie, I want them to feel the love.
Because everything is light-filled and joyful and black girl magic. Black girl magic. So this was written by a woman, girls and women in key roles, and women behind the camera, and women in government, and just women. An inclusive cast. It started with Storm Reed as Meg Murray, a heroine in the book who is not of color in the book, and so bringing that into the world of Wrinkle in Time. Fantastic women of different sizes, shapes, ages, cultures, backgrounds. It looked like the United Nations. Yes. It's really great.
Meg Murray is an amazing role model for younger girls today.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
Mine is infused with outrage.
For young people, but for women as well. What's your message to women out there?
Yes, we're so happy that this film with a diverse cast in front of the camera and a diverse crew behind the camera are films made by black directors. Women are 50% of the population of this planet.
And is it going to get bigger and better?
We'll see. We don't need to be bigger and better. We just need to be equal.
You know, one thing I loved about this film is that it provides the platform to just keep producing these female-centric movies.
In a never-ending story, the boy like flies on a dog. But
the huge dog.
But we weren't there, you know?
Right.
There were no kids of color. We're never the hero, the center of the story.
Right.
And if we are, it's a man, where women of color could be there. And
that she always didn't have the luxury to just pick any old role she wanted because she needed to represent African American women in a positive light with a sense of responsibility to portray yourself in the way that, you know, you'd want all African American women to see.
A young black girl.
Race and gender about being a black woman.
We don't see a lot of times where there's a female-centric role.
Having this young brown girl be the center of her own narrative and having brown girls around the world experience the reflection of that. Because I grew up in an era where there was nobody who looked like me. So I was like looking for white girls who were just brunettes.
Ava DuVernay has been breaking down walls in her industry for several years.
I saw the girl. I saw the girl as hero. The girl who's the leader, even though she doesn't think that she is or can be.
At the heart of the story here, a mixed-race family.
There hasn't been a hero, a kind of a cinematic leading lady who's the heroine of her own story that's been in the body of a black girl.
You heard of her?
Oh yeah. Hot. Black leather. Whip.
You have identification on it?
NASA, sir.
NASA? I had no idea they hired.
There are quite a few women working in the space program.
Clarice, something you do well?
Nothing.
Everybody's good at something.
Precious! You gonna stand up there and look down at me like you're a woman? You don't know what real women do. Real women sacrifice.
Hello, Melanie.
Morning, class. Good morning, it's just
I'd like to offer a great big hi there and hello to Sister Mary Clarence.
This stuff is terrible. It tastes like... There are 3 vows every nun must accept. The vow of poverty, the vow of obedience, and the vow of chastity. I am out of here.
Hey, sister, we expecting any more of your friends?
I don't have the privilege of not thinking about it. Asserting myself in images of people like me, women and people of color, in places where we've been long absent, isn't a kind of cool thing to do for the movie.
First African-American woman, DuVernay has made a point to hire all women directors. She's the first African-American woman to lead a $100 million film production.
Incredible black women, brown women, all kinds of women of color filmmakers.
She recently formed a partnership with the city of Los Angeles and others to fund 150 Hollywood internships for women, people of color, and Mattel made a Barbie doll of her.
Disassembling of architecture and systems that we've not achieved, we've not even gotten close. It would be transformative for the culture.
A shift in perception.
With a film like this and a film like Black Panther, I just feel like it's so awesome now that we're not looking at it like, oh, this is a different type of film. Like, it just seems normal to me now when I watch it. It doesn't seem like anything different that I've ever seen.
Good. Well, then we're making some progress.
Yeah.
They speak color.
Listen to these words.
For women, women of color, culturally diverse girls, women of color, heroines, kids of color, race, biracial, gender roles, female empowerment, young girls, powerful women. These women, a sisterhood, women of color, African American,
People of all color.
girl, heroine, strong women.
My lady, body sizes and shapes and face sizes and culture.
Diversity and inclusion,
Brown girls, empowerment,
women of color.
I just love all these women.
inclusiveness, palette of color, brown girl, mixed race girls of color.
Powerful women.
Representation.
Little Filipino American.
A gay character?
Southeast Asian woman.
Empowerment, young girls.
Young girls.
Men's, women, so inclusive. She's just powerful. She's smart and beautiful.
Being black, she was really independent, tomboy.
A young girl, a girl of color.
Female protagonist.
Diverse inclusionism. For the diversity and inclusionism people of the world, Negro girl.
Of young women, African American women, diversity and inclusion, representation.
We're divided.
Black girl magic. Women, girls, and women, women, a heroine of color, women of sizes, shapes, ages, cultures, backgrounds. They look like the United Nations.
Women as a women.
Diversified black women equal.
Female-centric.
Kids of color and women of color.
African-American women. African-American women.
A young black girl.
Race and gender black women.
Female-centric.
Young brown girls, white girls.
I saw the girl.
Mixed race.
Leading lady, the heroine, a black girl. Privilege of women and people of color.
African-American woman, all women, African-American woman.
Black women, brown women, women of color.
Women, people of color.
My camera